because this links in with the next question about balancing fun and technique. You'll hear me talk a lot about making drills exciting and games exciting. If you've got something that those players want to do, take it away from them until they behave how you want them to behave, which is showing you a bit of respect if you're trying to show them something or tell them something. Again, this will come out more and more in these 2 sessions. Most of your techniques and your drills and your game plan stuff is going to be next week. So, again, based on where we get to today and any points that you make in the chat or anything you email or call me with this week will influence next week's. But, and we're talking a lot about concepts here as opposed to, looking at a specific example. But you will hear me talk a lot about games and fun drills in training. Football is meant to be fun, and why not make it as fun as you can? Even if it's challenging, even if it's tough, even if it's physical, a lot of people enjoy that. The third part of this question was about positions and side of the field for juniors. And anybody who's heard me talk before, you'll hear me use the example of brushing your teeth or wiping your backside after you've been to the toilet. When you go to bed tonight, guys, if you're right-handed, brush your teeth with your left hand. How do you think you will respond to that? How good do you how well do you think you'll brush your teeth? I probably don't need your reaction to that. I think your one hand is always quite often weaker than the other. The whole wiping your backside after the toilet, I don't suggest you do that, but I think we know it's going to be messy if you do it with the wrong hand. And quite frankly, that's because if you've been on this earth 40 years, all you've done twice a day with your toothbrush is reinforced a physical demand with your right hand with a toothbrush and toothpaste to brush your teeth. And you're so good at it now, you can probably do it when you've had 55 schooners, you can still brush your teeth. You can probably do it when you're half asleep. You probably do it on autopilot, but you have to do it with your right hand. To emphasize this point, please try and brush your teeth with the wrong hand tonight. And you'll be really poor, I would have thought, unless you happen to be ambidextrous. If at about the age of 12 or 13, and even younger, if you tell your kids in the morning to practice brushing their teeth with their left hand and in the evening brush it with the right hand, the reality is after a bit of time, they will get equally good on both hands. And how does this relate to this question? Well, if you only put somebody on one side of the field, the chances are they will only use one side of their face to look at the majority of the activity. They'll probably only ever catch the ball from one side. They might be limited as to what tackle shoulder they can use a lot of the time. And they'll only see the game from that one side. The academic feedback and the sports science suggests that up until about the age of 14, you should be giving players opportunities to do whatever they want on a field as much as you can. Now, obviously, you've got games to win. I'm talking more about training. I'm talking about moving them around. I'm talking about that example I used before about that player who'd never been allowed to pass before. His coaches used to tell him off for passing, and now I was allowing him to pass. And I found a 5'8". I found a standoff from it. And you can open that up in your training, but also in games. As a junior coach, please try and encourage second rowers to try both sides of the field, wings to try both sides of the field, centres to play both sides of the field, halves to not split the field and try and move around. And again, that would probably come in the first half of your season or in the earlier games or in some of the, in inverted commas, easier games too. If that makes sense to you or you need more on that, please just put in the message. Chat box. Now,